It's just so special for such our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.
Hey there, TJ here, and welcome to Yeahthedees, where I am going through our Round 9 clash with the West Coast Eagles at Optus Stadium, our second home ground away from the MCG, where 230-ish days ago we went and won a flag on that ground. So looking forward to playing here pretty much any time now after, the great grand final and also that incredible performance against Geelong in the prelim. So I noticed that the club actually went up on the Friday night, so they spent 2 nights in WA before this game. I would assume that is to give our Western Australian players a little bit more time with their families over there, and also for the players to just get a bit settled in and just getting used to the time difference and things like that. That meant that they had to leave a few players behind for their VFL match on Sunday, which was quite fantastic if you didn't see. I'll just go through the VFL match quickly. If you do like the VFL, let me know and maybe I'll do this every week at the start. The Casey Demons came up against the North Melbourne VFL side, who we play in the AFL next week, but due to the way that they do their scheduling, we played them this week. So yeah, nice 5-goal first quarter. Controlled the whole game. Like North were never really in it, just kicked away, 5 goals, 6 goals, 9 goals, and then 6 goals. We had some very good performers with Jacob Van Rooyen and Sam Wiedemann kicking 6 each, both having 20 disposals. Bailey Laurie was really impressive, kicked 4 goals. He was great around the ground. Luke Dunstan, he was awesome as well at this level, and Toby Bedford was also exciting around the ground. Matthew Buntine played from us. He's a former GWS player. He played pretty well. Disco Turner played well in defence. I thought Tajra Woden was quite impressive in parts. He had 19 disposals, kicking well, or at least making the right decision where to go, maybe not exactly hitting the target each time. Majak had a great game, took some very good marks. Fraser Osman did well in the back line. Adam Tomlinson also. Former Demons, Marty Hoare and Dom Tyson both played for the Kangaroos in this game. But yeah, Van Rooyen can't wait to see him at top level. He's progressing quite well. Anyway, let's get back into this game. Have a quick look at the lineups here. Whilst West Coast has been quite decimated, they actually had a decent centre line. Tom Barrass, Jeremy McGovern, Tim Kelly, Jack Darling, and then also Josh Kennedy before he pulled out. Didn't they do well in defence, those two boys, Jeremy McGovern and Tom Barrass? As for the D's, we had one of our better teams in. This is only missing 2 premiership players. I wasn't surprised to see them kick the first goal. I reckon if you're a betting person, you can probably bet against Melbourne in every game not to kick the first goal and you'll win. Don't know why it happens, but it just tends to be a trend that I've noticed. I'm sure Demons fans all know it. We just don't kick the first goal, and that's absolutely fine because we'll generally kick 6 or 4 in a row at some stage and win the game. I thought Tom McDonald was a really good presence up early. Cozzy Pickett is really starting to find his form. He's starting to find his feel around the ball and making a bit more of an impact. We get on a bit of a roll and kick 4 goals out of 6 inside 50s. 4 goals, 1 out of 6 inside 50s, which is pretty cool. That was a bit more of what we were expecting. Cozzy got on the board again. Good. It was a good spread of goals throughout the first quarter. Pretty much what I expected, just for us to come out and put 4 or 5 on the board. I thought the Eagles were very, very spirited. Other than when they beat Collingwood earlier in the year, I would say that this is the only game I've seen West Coast put in a 4-quarter effort. Now, whilst they were, trailing by 5 goals at quarter time, the effort was still there around the ball and it consisted throughout the whole game. You never really saw them drop off and just give easy possessions away like an Essendon would. Just sort of set it up and then just kind of coasted for that. The second quarter, they played a lot more defensively, I found. They were trying to choke up the ball, kick the ball around a little bit, and the lack of scoring from both teams was really evident of that. The Eagles only kicked 3 points for the quarter, and we kicked 1 goal and 4 points. Bit of a nothing quarter with Ben Brown kicking the only one. A lot of contests, a lot of ball ups, a lot of throw-ins. A bit of a contest style game. Eagles get the first goal of the third, and that breaks a drought of their 14 goalers inside 50s. But also we had kicked 7 in a row, so that breaks that scoring run for us. Christian Petrarca gets his second goal in this quarter. So you can see quite clearly that, Mitch McGovern takes the mark, Luke Jackson runs out, and Petrarca goes to take take the mark. Now, the umpire hasn't called stand, so Petrarca doesn't have to stop and stand. Instead of just calling stand when he moved, allowing McGovern to go back and just have a kick, which is probably what should have happened, the umpire freaked out and called play on because he didn't want to pay a 50-metre penalty. And that's something that I've seen in a few games where the umpire will call play on because he doesn't want to pay a 50-metre penalty because he thinks calling play on will get him out of that problem. If the player hasn't played off his line, whether he's faked to kick or taken one step to kick, that's not play on. So the umpire got that one really, really wrong there. Eagles fans do have a reason to be upset with that because he shouldn't have had to play on, and then he got done for deliberate. So, yeah. Happy day for us. You know, we used to be on the end of those ones all the time. It just, you know, when you're a crap side, you get the worst end of the stick sometimes, and it's just that's just what happened to the Eagles. And yeah, glad that we were the beneficiary for that one. We get a bit more goal scoring in this quarter with us kicking 2 goals 4 to the Eagles 2 goals 1. Tom McDonald gets on the board again. West Coast were trying hard, and this is a stat that really points it out. West Coast has applied 30 tackles from 37 attempts over the last 2 quarters, a tackle efficiency of 81.1%, 24 above its season average. To put that in comparison for you, for the whole game against Sydney, Essendon got 30 tackles from 54 attempts. In an average game of football, you'd have 55, 56 complete tackles on average as a minimum, really. And West Coast got 30 in 37 across the second and third quarter. So that just really shows the level of pressure that they applied and why it was so much of an arm wrestle for that time. It wasn't until really this last quarter that we really got to break through. And in the last quarter, it was a bit more fun because we kicked 7 goals 4. A bit more fun for us to watch. I felt like Tim Kelly had probably his best game in West Coast colours in a while. Like, he really tried to put the whole team on his back. They were really trying to compete. And even whilst trying really hard to compete, they still end up losing by 72 points. You can't fault the Eagles' effort there. The crowd that was there really got around them as well. They really enjoyed the effort. But yeah, it looks like James Harms has done a hammy. Might be out for 1 or 2 weeks. We'll wait to see what we hear during the week. That just means like a Melksham will come in or a Luke Dunstan, which isn't too bad. It's another quality player coming back in. Charlie Spargo finally gets a goal in this game after being ignored like 3 or 4 times earlier. Like he probably should have had a few more chances, but yeah, got ignored a few times inside 50, which was a bit annoying. Kick away in this last quarter with Neil Bullen and Fritsch getting around it. Fritsch always loves a couple of late goals. He tends to get on the scoreboard a bit later. It's very sneaky that he's popped up as the number one goal kicker so far for Melbourne. You kind of wouldn't expect it by how little an impact he's had in games. He's probably really, sort of broken out in 2 of them, I would say, so far this year. When you got someone on your list that is that talented and only busting that out, it means that, things can only get better in the future. So watch out for Bailey Fritsch to really rip apart the second half of this season. Cozzy and Tom McDonald get some more top-up goals towards the end of this quarter. But yeah, we kick 6 goals to 1 in the first, and then we kick 7 goals to 2 in the last. But yeah, that was the timeline. That was the way that the worm went. Let's have a look at some player stats. Clayton Oliver got a lazy 29 disposals with Christian Petrarca 28, Jordan and Viney 27 each. This is absolutely huge here. Jack Viney with 12 tackles. 12 tackles in a game is a lot. So that's almost half of the entire Essendon team. Between Viney, Petrarca, Neil Bullen, Oliver, and take a pick from anyone else, they would equal that entire team. Great stuff from Viney and Petrarca to get 20 tackles between them. Ball got shared around quite a bit, especially through with our half forwards and mids. Cozzy, Luke Jackson, Tom Sparrow, Jake Bowey all had sort of important moments throughout the game when they had the ball in their hands. But yeah, let's check the metres gain. James Jordan had a big game, 612 metres gain. Angus Brayshaw, I thought he was pretty good. He was kind of unassuming throughout this game. But yeah, another solid 496. Petrarca 466. Stephen May 464 kicking out from the back line. Yeah, Ed Langdon had a good game. Cozzy had a good game. Yeah, Bowey, Lever had a couple of intercepts early on. Hunt actually got to show a bit of run and carry this game, which was nice. There's some games where you just don't get to see him dashing off the half-back, and it's such a weapon, his run. It's very hard for people to catch him, so I'm not sure why it wasn't getting used as much in previous weeks, but it's good that we started to see that run a bit more because it really breaks open teams, and teams are running around looking as to, oh shit, who do I need to pick up? Who do I need to grab? James Jordan and Keziah both had 6 inside 50s each, which was pretty good. 14 score involvements for Christian Petrarca from 32 scores. So he was almost involved in half of them. Clayton Oliver with 10, Cozzy with 10. James Jordan was very clean with the ball, going at a 96.3% with 93% kicking efficiency. That was really, really nice. Alex Neil-Bullen also did well with his disposal. Trent Rivers, Jack Viney. Jack Viney's not usually that clean, so that's quite good because, he's always at the coalface. Pretty clean disposal game for the majority of our players. So with that much domination, we're going to have a lot more disposals, which we did. We've had a very handball happy game with this one, and that ended up with a lot of inside 50s. I felt like our kicking inside 50 could have been a lot better. We weren't really kicking to the advantage of our forwards, just kind of dump kicking it in, hoping that they would either take a mark or bring the ball to ground. I felt like West Coast were a little bit favoured in the free kicks, but that just always happens over there. Yep, smashed them in hit outs, clearances. Centre clearances was almost even. I thought Tim Kelly played a really good game, especially in the centre. He did quite well. Got around them in contested possessions, less turnovers. Our marks inside 50 was down because of McGovern and Barras both playing well. Kicking 11 more goals and double the amount of behinds. Unfortunately, Chandler has been suspended for 2 weeks for that tackle. Look, it's fair enough. I thought it might only be 1 week, but yeah, it's if you look at the tackle and look at the way he's just goes in with a bit too much vigor, grabs the Eagles player and just pulls him into the dirt, and it's just you can't do that anymore. Unfortunately, there's a duty of care towards the player that you need to protect their head, and unfortunately there's 2 actions there from Chandler. I thought it was one. I had my D's coloured glasses on. Can't believe Liam Ryan only got 1 week for his bump on Jake Bowey. That definitely should have been 2 weeks. Absolutely ridiculous. Also can't believe that Tom Lynch got off with that elbow. He should have got the 1 week. Let's have a look at the coaches' votes. So the coaches' votes, it was a bit of a spread this time. Christian Petrarca got 9, Cozzy Pickett got 6, Jack Viney with 5, Clayton Oliver with 4, Angus Brayshaw and Max Gawn got 2 each, Tom McDonald with 1, and Tim Kelly with 1. Where if you split up the coaches' votes, it made me have a look at it like this. I think Coach 1 was probably Simon Goodwin and Coach 2, Adam Simpson. I know Simon Goodwin's got a lot of love for Jack Viney, so I reckon he gave him the 5. Christian Petrarca got 9, so he gets 4 from one coach and 5 from the other. Cozzy Pickett got 6, so I reckon that was 3 from each. And then, Angus Brayshaw, Max Gawn, Tom McDonald, and Tim Kelly. As for my votes, I gave the 1 vote for James Jordan. I thought he had a pretty big game, even though he sort of slides under the radar a little bit. He had 27 possessions, 15 kicks, 12 handballs, 6 marks, 2 tackles, 3 clearances, 612 metres gained. I thought he was quite fantastic. For 2 votes, I gave it to Clayton Oliver. I thought he had pretty good game, 29 disposals, 10 kicks, 19 hit-outs, 261 metres gained, 4 tackles, 7 clearances, but just not the huge sort of game-breaking games that we expect from Clayton Oliver, but I thought he was still pretty good. Gave 3 to Tom McDonald. I felt like kicking 4 goals in the game, providing a good option inside 50, taking 5 marks, or 4 marks inside 50 and 5 marks for the game. Was quite good with those 2 star defenders intercepting everything, so he got the 3 votes. 4 votes I gave to the live wire Cozzy Pickett. He was just a spark and he was everywhere, kicking 3 goals, 20 disposals, 13 kicks, a menace with and without the ball. Gave the 5 votes to Christian Petrarca. I thought he was inspiring around the ground, kicked 2 goals, 4, so it easily could have been 4 goals, 2 or something more. 466 metres gained, goal assist, 3 clearances, 8 tackles, 28 disposals, 18 kicks, 10 handballs. Just played a cracking game. My 6 votes I had to give to Jack Viney. I felt like Jack Viney was in and under absolutely everything. He had 12 tackles, the most for the game, 27 disposals, 10 kicks, 17 handballs, was very clean with the ball. So if we have a look at the leaderboard, Christian Petrarca is leading away on 31 votes. Stephen May is following with 27, Clayton Oliver with 24, Ed Langdon on 20, and then Max Gawn rounds out the top 5 with 15 votes. Wasn't really too much to talk about with this game when we just come out and just get the job done. So I think we'll call it for this episode of the 2022 Round 9 review for West Coast versus Melbourne. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about the game. Is there anything that I missed? Is there anything I should have talked about? Let me know. And once again, thank you for watching Yeahthedees.
Petrarca! Oh wow! How good is that? Sparrow to make it a 3-goal, 3-pointer dive. He's got it! Surely not another one. Handball to Oliver, streaming through. Bang! Bang, bang, bang! Melbourne are the premiers for 2021!
And it's just so special for such our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.